Good morning, children. Today, let's discuss or learn the poem He Did It, written by Mary Britton Miller. The poem is all about a man by name Columbus or Christopher Columbus. Okay, he is the man. It is his image. Where Mary Britton Miller, she is describing him how he became successful in crossing the Atlantic Ocean and discovering the world. Okay, that means he discovered the Bahamas Islands, we can say that. Okay, but he referred to that place as Red Indians, but in fact it was not Asia, we can say that, or it was not a land of, it was not India. It was not India. He got confused and it called the people as Red Indians. Okay. So the poem is all about Christopher Columbus, his achievements, his struggle on his voyage. Okay, his difficulties, his trouble. Right. So here, the explorer Christopher Columbus had made 4 trips across the Atlantic Ocean from Spain. Okay, that means he started his voyage from Spain in the years 1492, 1493 and 1498 and 1502. He was determined. That means he decided to find a direct water route, okay, west from Europe to Asia. He wanted to discover a sea route to Asia. But he never did. Instead, he stumbled upon the Americas. Stumbled upon the Americas. Okay, maybe North America. Right? She is Mary Britton Miller. She is the poetess of the poem He Did It. Right? Let's see about her. Okay. Isabel Bolton was an American poet and novelist. So here, Isabel Bolton is nothing but Mary Britton Miller. Okay. She was an American poet and a novelist. Okay, her novel Many Mansions was nominated for the National Book Award for Fiction in 1952. Right? She was born on 6th August 1883, New London, okay, in United States, and she died on 5th of April 1975 in New York, United States. Before going to the lesson, let's understand the difficult words here. Conquer, overcome, win over, venture, undertaking, risky job, unfurl, spread out, humility, humbleness, rigged, provided, stump, to give someone a very difficult problem, foe, enemy, oars, paddle. Right? Let's move to the poem. Okay, there is a challenge between the man and the sea. Okay, there is a challenge between the man and the sea, or there is a light quarrel between the man and the sea, where the sea is telling the man. The sea is telling the man, you will not conquer me. You will not be able to conquer me. You cannot win over me. You cannot win over me. You cannot gain me. Right? Try as hard as you can. Whatever the things you want to apply, maybe your strength, maybe your talent, maybe your courage, whatever the things you do, but you won't be able to win over me. You won't be able to defeat me. Okay. Why? Because you are not a whale. Neither you are a whale nor a shark. Neither you are a whale nor a shark. You are not a shark and you are not a whale. Okay, and moreover that, young man, you cannot walk on the waves. You cannot walk on the waves. Okay, so that is the reason you cannot win over me. So who is telling this? The sea is telling to the man. So what did the man do in return? On listening to the challenge of the sea, the man, he made a boat. And the boat which he made was able to float. It was able to float. On seeing this, the enemy sea, it says that, ho ho. Okay, ho ho. It floats all right. And it's watertight also. But you cannot make it go. On seeing the man made a boat. Okay. And it was able to float, but the enemy was not happy with that. And it is telling that, okay, it floats, it floats all right, and it is watertight also. Okay, it will not sink in the water, I'm sure. Okay, but you can't make it go. You cannot make it go. A boat cannot sail for a long time. A long time. Okay, why he said? You see here. Oh yes, I can, replied the young man, and he made some oars and learned how to row. When the sea said that, of course, you made a boat and it is watertight and it also floats, but you can't make it go, he said. Why? Because the sea, it means to say that because my boat cannot move without the help of the oars. And when the water is rolled, then only the boat will move. It wants to say that, right? So as a result, what did man do? Oh yes, I can. I will do it. I will prove that. I will make the boat go. Okay. And as a result, he made some oars. Oars are nothing but the paddles. Okay. And learned how to row. Okay. And he learned oars to row. How to row it. Okay. How to use the oars on the sea. He learned that. When the sea saw the boats and the oars and all the rowers, he said, young man, they make a fine show. But what will you do when they venture out? So here, when when the man made oars and learned learned how to row the paddles, right? On seeing this, the sea says, okay, when the sea saw the boats and the oars, when it saw that boats and the oars and all the rowers, the sea is telling, they make a fine show. Okay, they are very good. They are attractive. They look very beautiful. Okay. But what will you do when they venture out? What will you do when they come in danger? When you are, that means, what will you do when you come in risk? This is a sea. I am a huge sea. I don't know where I am deep. When you come, that means when you come into the deep sea, what will you do? Why it said like that? See in the next stanza. Where the deep sea swells can take them up and toss them about like conch shells. The sea, it means that it wanted to say that, okay, fine, okay, young man, you made some, yes, he made the boats and the oars and the rowers were there. They make a fine show, I know that. But what will you do when you come in danger? Right? Why it said so? Because where the deep sea swells, where the sea is very deep. Okay, when you move into the deep sea, the sea will take them up. That means your boat, it will take them up and toss them about like a conch shells. It will throw you from so high that once you sink, you will never get back. get back. You will never come up. You will never come up. Or it means to say that, okay, when you come into the deep sea, when you come into the deep sea, when you that means when you fell from there, okay, or okay, when you lose your this thing ship from there, no doubt you will be thrown. You will be thrown like the sediments. You will be thrown like the sediments, okay, to the shore. To the shore. You will be. That means you will be thrown out of the what do you call that, sea, and you will be on the seashore. Okay, like sediments. Like sediments. Okay, what do you mean by sediments? As you all know that sand and other particles that are present in the water are thrown to the, okay, that means the seas and the rivers while moving, they carry the sediments, and that means those sediments they will that means alluvial soil, okay, and polyps, corals, everything, and it will what do you call that, dump on the seashore, isn't it? So like that, you can't stump me, said the bright young man, and cut down a tree. When the sea, it said that what will you do when they venture out where I am very deep, I will throw you like a conch shells out of the shore. What do you call that? Out of the sea. I will throw you like a conch shells from the out of the sea. Okay. So on hearing this, the man, he says that you can't stump me. You cannot stump me. You cannot give me a difficult problem. You cannot give me a difficult problem, said the bright young man. Said the bright young man. And what did he do? He cut down a tree. He cut down a tree and made a tall mast. And rigged it with sails to catch the high winds and weather the gales. So the man, what did he do? He said that you cannot give me a, what do you call that, a difficult problem. I know how to get saved. Okay. And as a result, what did he do is he cut down a tree. He cut a tree, okay, and made a tall mast from using that tree. Tall mast is nothing but a long pole. Okay, which is on the ship or the sea, okay, and that tall mast is provided with the sails. Sails are nothing but the canvas cloths. The canvas cloths, okay, why it is used in the ships or the boats? In order to catch the high winds. And weather and control the high winds. In order to catch the high winds and control the high winds, these sails are provided. What do you call them? Mast is provided with sails. Okay, in order to catch the high winds and to control the high winds. When the ship set out with their sails unfurled to cross the Atlantic and discover the world, the sea looked them over. Okay, when the ship set out, that means the man that the ships and the, what do you call that, rovers, okay, sailors, they were all set. They were all set to discover something. Okay. When the ship set out with their sails unfurled is nothing but a spread. When their sails unfurled, okay, to cross the Atlantic and discover the world. They are in the verge. They were in the end to cross the Atlantic and discover the world. Okay, and the sea was looking them over. Okay, from stern to stern. And when he saw with a considerable awe that Columbus himself was one of them. The sea here was sinking. That means he was from stern to stern, in the sense very strictness to strictness. That means there was a deep sea. There was a deep sea in which the, what do you call that, the Columbus or the man would lose his life. Or he may get defeated. That means he was taking a very risky job here. He was taking a very risky job to cross the Atlantic. And the sea was looking at them. And this moment was very, from stern to stern is nothing but stick to stick, we can say that, where the eyes of the sea were on the young man. The eyes of the sea were on the young man, and it was looking with surprise. Okay, with considerable awe. In two ways we can say that. It was looking with fear, what is going to happen with Columbus or the man, or what do you call that? We can say it was in total surprise. Okay, that Columbus himself was one of them. Finally, it was Columbus himself was one of them. Okay, to cross the Atlantic and discover the world. That means finally Columbus, using his talent, determination, courage, persistence, okay, hard work, he was the one who gave the defeat to the sea, and successfully crossed the Atlantic Ocean and discovered the world. With a lot of struggles in his journey, and finally, on seeing this, when the man crossed the Atlantic Ocean, okay, so finally the sea, it admitted, okay, what it says is, he said with a show of humility, I admit, young man, you have conquered me. He says that. Finally, when the man successfully crossed the Atlantic Ocean with a lot of struggles, okay, on his voyage, so finally the sea agreed its defeat, and he said that, I admit, young man, I admit, okay, I agree that you have conquered me. Right? You have win over me. Right? Very great man. Very great Columbus, he says. Okay? So here in this poem, what do you call that? Mary Britton Miller, she has given the voice. She has given the voice to the sea. See, we can say that. Usually seas don't speak, but here the poet Mary Britton Miller, she has given the voice to the sea. Okay, it is nothing but personification, we say that. We call it as personification, right? And here, in one way, we can say that the sea, it was helping the man. Okay, it was provoking the man. It was provoking the man to use his talent, in a right way, And when the sea was provoking, according to that man, he acted over that. He acted over his advice. That means he took it as a challenge and started to prove himself. And finally, Columbus, he discovered that means he crossed the Atlantic Ocean, and it is said that he discovered the Bahamas Islands. But okay.